All right, everyone, welcome. So, what we kind of already talked about it, but what was your guys' impression?
Um, so the Barbie doll one, as she thought she was beautiful at first, and then she probably did have an overall beauty, but because everyone just saw that particular feature of her body, that she didn't feel like she was beautiful because those features were always pointed out. And then for the beauty one, I don't know if this was how the ending was, but it almost was like the sister was saying like the sister that was so called beautiful acted a certain way to fit the ideals of beauty, but as soon as she got the scar, she kind of felt like she was free. That's kind of what I got from the ending, but I don't know if that was like
Yeah.
just a very small time span and then after that she felt like she was ugly.
When I was reading it, I felt like I like in the girl in the Barbie doll poem. Like I like her. She's like smart,
Yeah.
but then she does this like crazy thing in the end. Like it starts with a really cool girl that you read about, and then all of a sudden it's like a really kind of sad ending. But with the other one, she's kind of like it starts as a really like superficial girl. You know the girls like acting like a dumb blonde. She doesn't have personality like the Barbie doll girl. But then in the end, she just like it has kind of a happy ending because her sister realizes it's not as grim as the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved the ending of the second one. It kind of felt like I read the Barbie one first, and that one had a really dark ending, a dark realistic ending.
Mm-hmm.
But the second one, I just thought was like we were reading another poem, and it's this girl. She's trying so hard to break free from these beauty, like from these societal standards, and then at the end, she let them go. That she was truly beautiful, and I just loved that. It really felt like a breath of fresh air from the rest of the poem and the other poem.
Mm-hmm.
And also, this one is like written from her sister's perspective, and she calls her sister a dumb blonde. So like maybe it's hard to know her personality because it's not from her own perspective. It's just like it seems like the girl isn't really struggling. Like the sister at first was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to be beautiful. Like this is what I want to do. I want to like impress guys and talk to football players." And then in the end, she's like, "Yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm done." And then her sister's like, "Wow, she's still beautiful. Like how come she's still beautiful all the time?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Something that I got out of the Barbie doll poem was like, yeah, the ending was really like sad, like everybody said. But I think it kind of shows like society like expects so much of us to like be beautiful, you know, and we're just like we're not really good enough until we're dead. And after we're dead, they're finally like, oh, like she looks so pretty now. So like people don't really um like appreciate you until you're gone, you know. And she just like it shows that like she basically dedicated her entire life to like trying to please society, you know, like she like
Oh
I don't know how to put it into words, but like um like she like pushed herself into the grave, you know, like she she just kept striving for that until like finally it was gone. And like um I don't know how to explain that better, but
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I didn't realize. I mean, after reading I didn't realize. I mean, I guess I did realize she was dead, but I was like really focused on her just cutting off her nose, and it was just like a really weird picture. And
Mm-hmm.
realize that she's like people finally think she's pretty.
Yeah. And it says like in the poem that
Mhm.
she was smart and it like lists her good qualities. But because like something said like something negative about her physical appearance, like she disregarded all of her positive qualities, like her intelligence and stuff like that. And she decided to like literally dedicate the rest of her life to trying to please
I
society.
agree. Such a deep poem. Like she's apologizing, and then it also has like all um these things that kind of shaped her. So like she was presented dolls and stoves and irons and lipstick, and then she was told to play coy, but also like be like aggressive, exercise, diet, like so many things people are telling her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting because, okay, judgment. I like love reality TV, and there's this show called Housewives of Beverly Hills, and this poem kind of reminded me of it because like all the women get plastic surgery, and obviously if they don't like their feature, they're not just gonna like chop it off, but they'll replace it with a new one, like through plastic surgery. So it kind of reminded me of how like the women will converse with each other and they'll be like, "Oh, you look so beautiful, you look so beautiful," and the girl's like, "Yeah, I got my nose last year and did my boobs 3 years ago," and like stuff like that. It's like it's not real, but it's like they're called beautiful, even if it's not real, not natural at all.
Yeah.
That's a good
All right.
Like
I guess. Mhm.
we answer the questions.
Yeah. So the first question is, what does each poem have to say about what is expected of women regarding beauty?
Okay. Here is where you shoot me the greatest ideas. So we can write this paper. Okay. So I think the Barbie doll one says that women are conditioned to worry about what society thinks. They are conditioned to do all of these things that are expected of them. They're conditioned to be feminine and to like make yourself available but not too available, and not have like super prominent features like a big nose and fat legs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it says kind of what I said earlier. Like women are expected to like dedicate their lives to like look beautiful to other people. Um,
Mhm. Yep. I think go for it. Go for it.
Oh, sorry. The other one kind of hints at like what else is expected, because the sister didn't like the thingies. I guess the like blue stitches on her cheeks, and that's like not normal. So like what's expected of them is to look as normal and not as like don't stand out, just like blend in, and that's what makes you beautiful. Or are you gonna say, Nicole?
I was also gonna say like in the other one, it's in the beauty poem. It also gives that feature of like, yes, there is a physical beauty aspect, but also like pleasing other people. Because if you see in the poem, there's also like all the guys that she was escorting to say per se, so that she had to pretty much be like finding all of these guys and pleasing them, but also like, oh, this guy's not beautiful enough, so I need to go with a guy that is as equally beautiful.
I like that. That's a really good point, because you can connect it with like the feminine, like the feminine mindset to be motherly and nurturing and take care of others, which means that everything you do, like including your appearance, should make others feel comfortable and pleasant.
That's a good point.
Anything else?
Okay. Are you good with that question?
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What are the obstacles faced by women who want to try to meet the standards of beauty society sets? With the first one, it's really about whether or not you see the, because you know how she was always talked about her nose and her thighs, but taking those comments and identifying like that is something what's wrong with me, or that's not something that's wrong with me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, that's it. So we as women, or like women, everybody knows that they're not perfect. They have like flaws. But are those really flaws? Like, are they really flaws just because other people say it's a flaw? Like, if I have a big nose, what if you're flawed because you don't like have a regular size? I don't know. Identifying what are truly flaws and what to just accept or what to change. I think like the environment that we're around also like it also contributes, like the culture, the environment, like people, like for example, growing up in town, I was always the tallest. Like I was the tallest girl out of all my friends, and they're all Micronesians, so they're super short. And everyone would call me like tall freak, and like they'd just be like, "Dude, you're tall. I'm out too tall for all the boys." And my doctor told me like, "You're average height. Like you're 5'6". You're right in the middle." And so when I came to college, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm normal." Like weird. And then I embrace my height. I'm like, I can wear high heels now. Like I don't feel uncomfortable now just because I'm like taller than everybody because I'm different. When I come back, I'm like, "Hey, midgets." I'm not. Oh, guess what?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I guess you're just like, you're never gonna check all the boxes. Like, even if you're like in the Barbie poem, it kind of felt like the concept of beauty was a checklist. Like, got to get rid of that nose, got to fix those thighs, and once those things are done, then she reaches the standard and she'll be considered beautiful. But to answer the question, like, you will never go one place and check the boxes and go to another place and have all those boxes checked. You know what I mean? Like, you're never gonna fulfill everyone's expectations. So it's impossible.
So comparison. That one poem talks about like all the women on the street are so beautiful, and you see them like they have a hand on that. That was really clever. The perfume thing. Where she says like they have a hand touching that secret place where their beauty comes from. It's just like you're comparing yourself to everybody. Yeah. Unattainable.
Do you want me to move on to the next question, or do you?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Move on.
Okay. What are the consequences of those that do not meet standards of beauty society sets?
Well, consequences sounds like a bad thing, but in the second poem, it's almost liberating for her.
Yeah.
According from the sister's perspective.
Right.
And in the second poem, she dies and everyone says she's beautiful. I mean, in the first one.
Yeah, so it's like you're always gonna be. It almost seems like there's not. Maybe the consequence is the fact that you are still, because in the beginning, she kept on hearing those things. As far as the first poem, she kept on hearing those things, and she didn't act upon it until it just kept on nagging at her. So I feel like the one consequence is that you're gonna continually be nagged or looked down upon because you haven't fixed those features.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends on like how the person themselves view it. So like if you don't meet like society's standards and you don't care about it, like the end of the second poem, like she doesn't care about it, and like her sister doesn't seem to care about it anymore, and her sister thinks that that's so beautiful, and it's probably like one of you guys said it was like liberating. But I think like if you do care about what society thinks about you, then like not meeting those standards, like it cut out. Is that what you said?
Go ahead.
Then not meeting those standards can have like a toll on you for like the rest of your life until you accept that, until you accept yourself, regardless of society, if that makes sense.
Right, because the Barbie doll girl, like she lost herself, like she gave herself up, and she was never happy, and people were happy with her, but her life, I mean, she lost something, and she gave something up. But in the other one, the girl like found herself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Barbie doll, I just put two and two together. There is this lady that literally did a whole bunch of plastic surgery to look like Barbie, to the point like she took away her ribs and like in order to get to that small waist that literally looks like this big. It's just crazy. Like she's Botoxed galore, and then she even like ended up marrying this Ken lookalike who was her plastic surgeon. So it kind of ties in.
She married him.
Yeah,
this is like
you're literally Barbie and Ken.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. How might the effort of trying to meet society's expectations of beauty affect a person's life?
Well, obviously,
like
the first
Nicole
one is death.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that kind of answered that. Because it's one thing to just like not need it, but then it's another thing to care if you don't need it. You know? Like if you don't need it, there's two people that don't need it. One cares and one doesn't, and their lives are completely different. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the first one, she was so well in both versions, in both poems, they were so consumed by it to the point that they didn't know what was going on around them. They were just so confused. What was the word I just said? Like so absorbed in the fact that they had to be defined as beautiful. But before in the first poem, like she was able to accept herself, that she was smart, that she was good at something, and then at the end of the second poem, she finally realized that she was more than just beautiful.
No. Sorry. So sorry. Threw me off. Okay. So you're absorbed. I feel like for the beauty poem, she's not only trying to please others, but she's like trying to please men. So like sexuality is something that she has to gain too. Like their lifestyle is kind of like about gaining the attention of men. Sorry, that's the point that I was trying to make before this. So really. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other? What's the last question? With all of these questions, as with all of your work in this course, look at detail in this case referring to lines in the poem that
Okay, I'm still hearing you guys, so just keep talking.
that help you answer the question. Okay, I think that was the last question. So
I think that's also where we write our thesis.
Right. So what's the thesis? I mean, what's the question?
I think our thesis is to combine all of the things that we just talked about.
Okay, great. So I wrote a paper and she sent me like a critique on it for one of my papers, and she said that I didn't answer one of the questions that was on the prompt. So
you're trying to double check.
I'm gonna try to make a thesis that will kind of cover everything we talked about from the standard.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to write my paper to cover all of the. But is there anything else you guys wanted to add, or shall we make a thesis?
I think so.
Okay. I think that each poem's message about beauty is that you shouldn't worry about standing out. You shouldn't worry about in the 20th century, there are so many people around you that you can compare your beauty to. But you shouldn't worry about having prominent features, because society trains us to please others, but we can't please everyone. And we can't please the men around us. We can't please girls because there will always be judgment.
Yeah, I like that. Like, you only have so much control until you lose control. You know, like, she thought she was making a conscious, in the Barbie one, she thought she was making a conscious decision to take control of her life by cutting off her nose and her legs. But really, in that moment, she lost complete control of her concept of herself.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, again, another really abstract thing to write about, because we want to say it's about accepting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're kind of saying that it's about accepting yourself and not worrying about what other people think. But I think if we focus,
I think it actually is, the poetry is trying to say that because of societal's point of view, is it's more like we're trying to please society and disregarding our true selves, because in both, you kind of see in both ends of, you first accepted yourself and then you followed society, whereas the second poem, she followed society and then later on accepting herself. So I kind of feel like that middle part right there between both of the poems is talking about society having this expectation to please them by following what their level of beauty is I think the message that, at least also with the questions that is being asked about, is really society's point of view of beauty and how we either conform to it or not.
So I read this study. I think I brought this up before, but like where they took like I can't remember how many, like 1,000 women and their faces, and they basically use like this technology to morph all their faces into one person. They're like women from like 100 countries, and they're like Indian and African and European and all these women. And then like the end result was just like this really pretty girl. Like, you know, she had like a perfect size nose and a perfect size like pretty eyes. And her hair was dark because the majority of the girls have dark hair. And so I think that the standard of beauty is to be like in the middle. Like, don't be too this. Like, don't have a too big nose. Don't have a small nose. Don't have like weird stuff on your face. Like, just be like the average girl, and that will make you. And so, if you do anything that like stands out, if you have anything on your body that like stands out, then it's not beautiful because it's too much. So I don't know. I feel like I could use these poems to support that because the girl has a too big nose. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
So we do the second one.
Yeah.
Are you guys good? Okay.
Yep.